minute and then you're coming back here, but your business has been flying and you've been up to date on the market. So can you give us a market update?
Well, I mean, interest rates continue to rise. The government is going to continue to raise them this year. But at the same time, you got to look at the positive outlook. I mean, rates are going up. People are starting to make moves a little bit faster. Maybe this will slow down the frenzy and people maybe have an opportunity to actually get a home because, you know, the reality is that there's a huge shortage of homes. They're saying that there's like 4 million people or 4 million homes short right now. And then the new home reports are way off too, because the new home builders aren't building as fast as they should. But at the same time, those poor guys are getting slammed with, you know, $19,000 average cost higher on wood to build a house.
Yes.
It's crazy. I know, because I'm building a barndominium from the in-laws right now. And what I had got priced on wood back in November versus what I got hit with from the builder supply in February was huge. I mean, it was like a $6,000 difference. Yeah. Luckily, I went to Home Depot and used my veterans discount and got the wood actually almost back to the original cost. There were certain things I couldn't get, like certain eye joists and stuff, but we're just going to improvise. You know, we're going to have to just handle it and keep going. But that's what's going on right now, is that these poor builders are getting creamed. The honest builder I was talking to one the other day, he had to unload some of his lots because he took it in the shorts because he price locked everybody in. And a lot of the bigger builders have this acceleration clause in their contracts that basically say if cost of goods go up, that they can actually raise you percentage wise. But what they're doing is they're taking advantage of the market and they're raising even more.
Right.
So you got to be careful on the new home builds. The new home builds, I did learn something this week. The new home builds are taking FHA contracts where, and this is good for our agents. Our agents need to know this because I shouldn't say names. Bloomfield and several other builders out there are taking FHA contracts on some of these homes. And a lot of these clients that can't go conventional right now or win can get a new home. So that's still a win-win. What I like about Bloomfield, they still allow me to do the loan. So I'm not losing my client either. So it's a great thing. And nothing to do with reload, but hey, we got to teach our agents how to win. Right. And I thought, well, FHA is going to go away, but I ended up doing 3 or 4 this month because of the new homes.
Yeah, cool. And VAs, that helps with VAs too. And and here's the way I look at it. And Juan and we've been competing for a long time, right? So our thought is always like, yeah, it doesn't matter if there's 30 offers. The key is that you teach your clients how to put in the winning offer, right? Correct. And if they can't afford to win in this, put them in a situation where they will win, right? Like I know, like my kid, I'm not going to put him on the very top league if he's not that good. I'm going to put him in a situation where he has an opportunity to win. So I think us as realtors, if we are truly out there and understand the market, talk to the listing agents, talk to the lenders like you, talk to our title companies and have the regular conversations and have a clear understanding of our market, we can set up our buyers for success. And
just like our Cash is King, the Cash is King product. If you are conventional PYT and you've gotten completely underwritten through us, and we got to get on the Cash is King call, do the Thursday call at 1:30 Central, learn what these guys are doing. I just went through a 2-hour class on how some of the Colorado people are just, they're writing the contracts AmeriFirst and or sign cash buy. They're explaining to the listing agent, hey, this client is completely approved, but we're willing to pay cash for it. So we're going to do a 20-day close, just letting you know, we may assign it back. And the unique thing is they're winning the deals, and 90% of them, we're not buying cash. They're closing in the client's name. Reason being is because we've already got the 2 weeks out of the way of getting them pre-approved completely. There's no credit contingency. So it's just a matter of getting the appraisal and moving it over. So it's only about 10% we're actually paying cash for. Very unique.
I love that. I love that.
The trade-in, I mean, come on, guys. You got guys out there right now that are on the fence about listing their home. They want to get a newer home, a bigger home, or they want to downsize, and they don't know what to do. Guys, you're an iBuyer. As a relo agent or as an agent dealing with AmeriFirst, you have us as your iBuyer right behind you. I know there's There's a lot of products out there. There's Orchard, there's all these other products out there, but even their products, they charge a 1% on their cash buy product, which we don't charge anything if you don't use our cash. They charge either way, okay? And then on the trade-in program, our program, when we buy the house, we're even willing to put money into the house.
Right.
Unique. There's not many companies that will do it. Hey, it needs a refresh, needs this, needs that, to get it to 100%. As long as you as the listing agent are willing to help us do the work and get it GC'd and move quickly, we'll put the money up. And then if we make profit, we give it back to the original seller. Come on.
Give it back to the seller. And I get the buy side and the list side because y'all turn around and give it to me to list. So I want to reiterate what you just said on that. That's a win-win.
What do you call that?
Goal.
A touchdown.
I love it.
And an extra point. And an extra point.
And an extra point. It's all of it. It's like, it's a win-win-win-win. It's like, and I love that. And it's simple and it's easy. And you know that they're working with the team, not just you, but your processor, your underwriters, the whole team make this happen. So it's smooth. So let me ask you, in the industry, are we seeing loan apps go up or loan applications come down? I know my daffodils just started blooming.
It depends on what you're looking at. If you're looking at
new purchase
applications, they have gone up. Refis have gone down because of the rate difference.
Right, yeah. But the purchase apps are up.
Exactly. The problem is that most people coming and applying right now, they don't have the money to compete. You know, I've been seeing a lot, you know, they're coming, I got 10,000, I have this, I have that. And we're willing, and I closed a couple of DPAs this month. They had enough to pay the difference on the cash to win the deal, but they didn't have enough money to close. So I had to use a DPA to get them the extra money to pay the closing assistance. Correct. The issue with that is I don't control the rates on DPAs. DPAs are controlled by the DPA. So those rates are much higher.
Right.
So I've been begging people, get a gift from family, figure it out, you know, whatever it takes. But
I just know if I'm buying in this market, right? In my opinion, from talking to you guys and the people in the market, rates are expected to go up, right? Also, the price of the houses are going to go up. So even if I get a little bit higher of an interest rate and I do whatever it takes, because to qualify that down payment assistance program, right? Let's say I do all that and I get a little bit of a higher rate. I feel like if I don't trip over the pennies, I'll get to the dollars, right?
Yes, because what's going to happen is by the time you refinance this house a year from now, because this is the predictors are saying that we're going to go into a recession. And if that happens, then rates will tumble back down. That's what they're guesstimating, but it's not this year. It's late next year. Prices are not going to go backwards because we're in
we can't afford to go backwards. Yeah,
it's not going to go backwards. But then you're still going to have that equity. I mean, think about it. Even if you do the trade-in program and you trade your house and buy another home right now, by the time we put your house on the market in a couple of weeks, that value we gave you, that percentage, that 1.5% or whatever you lost doing the deal,
you made it back in equity.
I mean, literally, and rents are at a national high.
Ridiculous. I have not gone up on my rent enough. Like my tenants, I was like, hey, I was going to go up just a little bit. And they're all like, yeah, sure. You'll lock us in, because I've had them on a month to month forever because I don't like paperwork. All those who know me know that. But so I'm like doing month to month because I'm like, if they leave, I'll make a lot extra money. Right. So I'm not like in a rush. I don't have a huge need to keep them. And I was like, hey, my taxes went up and my insurance went up. I just want to at least cover that. And they're like, yes, you'll lock us in for a year. They're so darn excited. I had somebody else. I was like, I put in a new tenant. She's like, I was like, well, we hadn't really talked about rent. And I was like, well, you looked at the other houses in the area, how much are they renting for? And she gave us a number. And I said, okay, well, this is what I'll rent it for. And she had some things that she wanted me to fix up. I'll make you a deal. I'm going to rent it to you for this much, which is less than this much. Will you do all those things that you say that you want done? And they're like, yes. Win.
I'm like, I don't have to hire anybody. They're going to take care of it.
I'm done. Wow. My favorite word is the green check mark. Done.
Yeah, so, it's a different world right now. It really is.
I
We're
know.
working, we as LOs, as loan officers, are working about 5 times harder than when we were just 2 years ago. And then 2 years, I mean, when COVID hit, it really was a strain on everything because the rates got better, everything started getting refinanced, and we were working our tails off. But right now, I mean, to win a deal and to take care of a client and to call the listing agent and to get the PYTs and get the it's about 4 times as harder, and we're making about half of what, or a third of what we're making. So
So take care of your loan officer, moral of the story.
I love my business, but agents out there, you got to understand that right now for LOs to win a deal is 4 times harder. And the rate compression is so crazy that's going on right now that there's going to be companies out there that are going to go out of business that are giving away rates right now, but they're not going to give you the service because they've laid off so many people. I mean, there's one large company in particular, 3,900 layoffs since December.
Yeah. And we're hearing that a lot. I hear this. You give me these regular updates. I know we normally don't share it on our Reload podcast casting, but so you shared with that a lot about like this company's laying off, this company's laying off, and they don't have the manpower to provide the service, which it's fine if we were in a refinance situation and nobody's going to go homeless. But I know as a buyer's agent that if we don't close on that on time, that value of that house went up. That seller, just like I'm not concerned about my tenant moving out, that seller's not necessarily concerned about losing that buyer because there's all these other buyers who by that time could have wanted to pay more. Get this, one of our investor buddies, right? We sell about a house a year for him. And last year he's like, hey, I want to sell this house for this much. Market said it was this much. He said, list it for this much. We're like, well, we're not going to sell it. And I don't need practice. And I was like, but okay. And then people were like, hey, that's too much. I was like, yes, I know. They're like, well, will he take less? I'm like, no, he won't. And they're like, but it's not worth that. And I was like, not yet. And he's not in a hurry to sell it. And finally I was like, hey, why don't we just hold it for 5 months, 6 months, and see, you'll for sure get that and maybe more. He's getting that much plus 15%, 17% more just by waiting a few months.
Now, here's a crazy one. I had a client who bought, and I can't mention names, but he bought a duplex in an area that you and me know a year and a half ago, nobody would touch. Okay. I mean, who would buy a duplex in that area? And it's a fairly new duplex. The thing was built maybe 3 years ago. Brand new, was built and sold for like $330,000. He put in an offer, I think it was at $690 or $670 to win. He went $70,000 above asking. And the reason why is because he had a 1031 exchange he had to use.
Yes.
Okay. Guess what? What their appraisal came in this week or Monday?
$750.
Asking price $690. I was like, what?
Oh my God. I'm like, it came in because we're seeing that because the appraisers that you use that are in this market, because you in your round robin are the appraisers that you choose.
Local people that we know.
Local people that you know. So what happens is they know this market, they know the market, so they know the appropriate adjustments that are needed. So
yeah, and then 2 weeks ago we had a huge win.
Oh,
yeah, I had to tell you about this new home deal that we won, that we figured out. So should I tell you or not?
No,
anyway,
tell me.
All right, so they went on the contract on a house for $590. The builder, which I'm not allowed to mention names, raised their price by $50,000 in December. Yeah. Their mortgage company appraised it at $500. We came in and appraised it at the original list price in January before the house was built, because we were hoping that they would come down because their lender turned it down because of the appraised value.
Right.
Their own lender.
Right.
About 2 weeks before closing, thank God, the agent found some comps that closed, and I was able to go back to my appraisal and get them the amended price, which they hadn't seen it. and we were able to appraise it. Actually, the appraised for like 20,000 higher than the new asking price.
That's a little nitty gritty that people need to know, that lenders need to have. So what it sounds like, that builder needs a new preferred lender.
Absolutely, I'm trying.
If you need some help with that, I got you. So let me tell you, the other reason I didn't want to mess with that rental and mess with my rents and stuff is because the time and energy that it would put into that, I can put into inviting agents and lenders and people like that and helping our people grow, right? Because there's a huge mindset. I was on a call this week, and it was really the topic was think bigger. Everybody thinks about their expenses, right? Everybody wants to make enough money to focus on their expenses. That's like their number one focus, right? Is like, I just need to make enough money to cover my expenses versus, you got to think bigger. Like make income, huh? What are you gonna say? Oh, so you make an income to support your dream. So you make the income so that expenses are not an issue. Because if you go places, you see people all the time, they get mad at their bill that was wrong, right? Well, if you made more money, you really don't care. So I don't give a flip money. That's the income that you need to make. Is that I don't care. I don't need to look at my bill, because if you accidentally charge me for 2 sauces instead of 1 sauce, I'll eat the dollar. It's not worth the conversation, right? So,
well, it's the same thing. It's something. I mean, many years ago, a coach taught me something. Said, look, if something costs $25 or $50, it's free. Okay. This was many years ago. Then it was like, if anything costs $50, it's free. Then the conversation now is, if it's $100, that's like free.
Yeah.
Because think of what your time is worth.
It's not worth the energy and the willpower to put into it. So I think that's great.
I was having the bottom of our boat cleaned, the green stuff scraped off.
Yeah.
And the previous owner told me it was like $50 to have it done. And I thought, oh, okay, well, I'll just get it done every other week, get it done. So I call a guy and I get him scheduled. He comes on and he does the whole, and he was there for 3 or 4 hours cleaning that boat. I'm like, there's no way this is $50, right? And so the guy called me back and he goes, yeah, this is what we charge per foot. And it ended up being like $150, right? And I go, wow, $150, but he really scraped and cleaned and okay. And I just paid it. I didn't even question it, right? And then I said, well, so how often am I supposed to do this? He goes, oh no, like once a month. If you're taking it out a lot, every other month. He goes, but you should have your props done once a month at least, which is only $50. So what I heard was the wrong thing. But if you don't do it, guess what? You're ruining it,
yeah.
boat, right?
But you don't have to pull it into dry dock or anything. He'll go in the water and he does it.
Thousands. So you spend the $150 every couple months or every month or every other month if you're using it a lot, or you don't do it and then you end up spending $3,000 or $4,000. So
I invited somebody onto your boat. Hope you don't mind.
Oh, really? Lori's looking at me like, huh?
She's a really nice realtor. I've known her for a long time. She's really cool. Don't worry about it. She's cool.
Probably you. But I'm just saying, you're just saying you got to look at things differently. I mean, people look at things differently. But let's pray. Let's pray
in a position to be able to do that. If you're not in that position yet, just put yourself in a position to get that. And everything is about the reason we have rental properties, the reason we do what we do, the reason Relo is so inviting is the residual income stream, right? Because there's just so much time in a day and we can only invest so much time and energy and willpower. So if I can do something today and get paid for it year after year after year after year, it makes complete and total sense. So, dude, that's a great way to end the day. So,
yes.
Hey, I appreciate your time.
Let's go win some deals. Go win some deals. Find the right lender, the right partners, the right people to be around. Remember, you become who you're around, who you surround yourself with. Get around winners, get around people that want to win, and get around a lender who's willing to call that listing agent and make that phone call to put your deal on top.
That's right. And if you're a realtor and you need to know like how to win in this market or we're helping realtors all day, every day. I mean, I've got a couple 19-year-olds that are winners, right? They follow the formula.
Katush. Those kids are kicking katush.
They are. Good job.
I'm like, oh my goodness.
I know.